Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 26 of What If Naruto Got His Memories Sealed Away. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also, I posted the final episode of What If Naruto's Osusuke King over on Anime King. So go ahead and enjoy that guys, and don't worry because new What Ifs will be up soon as possible guys. So just stay tuned and enjoy. And I'm also going to be posting What If Naruto got disowned by everyone on this channel tonight. And later on I'm going to be posting What If Naruto was given a second chance. So stay tuned for that and I hope you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, what is going to begin this new episode? Begin the intro. So, the last part we left off, Naruto was clashing against Konan and the ninjas, as things became hectic as Naruto brought down an entire building by blowing it to smithereens inside. Meanwhile, Jiraiya was fighting off against the Paths of Pain, as Jiraiya was severely underhanded, seeing that one of his arms are cut off and his throat got crushed. Naruto created a miniature menacing ball and fired it. The thing teared through the hidden stone, as Pain saw the destruction that happened to his village, making him rather angry. As Naruto came on the scene, he tried to attack Pain but to no prevail. The 6 Paths of Pain then descended upon Naruto and started knocking him around like a rag doll. He was no match for the 6 of them as they started knocking him around. As Naruto got to his feet bloody, his eyes were swollen as he spit blood and spit in Pain's face. The man got furious as he released an almighty push that even blew away his paths, as Jiraiya's body was sent sailing along with Pa as well. Before Naruto fell unconscious, he heard someone call out his name. Some days later, Tsunade was worried, as Ma came to Konoha and tell her that Jiraiya and Pa hasn't been back yet. But then Himako came there and told her that Naruto was okay, and Jiraiya was alive as well, as she was connecting with Naruto with the seal that she placed in her arm, but she couldn't tell them about Root, so she left out that part. But they were safe for now, and they will be back soon as long as they get to their feet. As Tsunade was happy to hear that, as Jiraiya was reverse summoned along with Pa back to Konoha, as Naruto was in there and he met Maki again. Her conditional training never went through fully, as Danzo never wanted her and Naruto to fight in the end. Right now he wanted Naruto and Maki and Sai, as they will help him along with his journey. Naruto knew that he wasn't strong enough yet. He needed to find a way to control the Bichu power inside of him. And remember, he's still on the mission, where he's supposed to ask the other nations for help against the Akatsuki. As Danzo spoke to Naruto and told him that he will be a great Hokage, and he always has faith in him, and that he should make him proud, as Naruto nodded, as he went on one knee and saluted Danzo. At Konoha, Tsunade was furious when she heard that the blonde was not coming back. But Pa told her that he had no idea where Naruto exactly was. But Naruto told that he was still on his mission, making Jiraiya laugh in the bed, as the kid managed to outplay her once more. Meanwhile, Konan was looking over the village. So many people that died. What if they really created that weapon of mass destruction and handed it over to the nations? How many more people, thousands, millions would die? As she was seeing things in a completely different light. But Pain didn't care about that one bit, as he just headed back inside. So with that, Naruto, Maki, and Sai went off. So yeah guys, that was basically let's put left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what is to begin this new episode? 3 figures with cloak were dashing through the desert heading towards the hidden village. Why are we wearing these extra equipments if we're running, Naruto senpai? Sai asked. Because, Sai, Naruto said. While I don't really need it, you most definitely do. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You're as white as the paper that you draw on. If you're out in the sun for even more than an hour, you're gonna be lobster red. And I don't need you to lose any fights we get into because of your nasty sunburn. What about me, Naruto-senpai? Said Maki. I'm not as pale as Sai-senpai, but I'm still wearing a cloak as well. Naruto grinned at her. Well, there is no way I'm letting the female of our group get in sunburn. You're too pretty to get that complexion beat up by the sun, Maki. His grin stopped when he saw the dome structure of the hidden sand. Well, be cool, guys. You both are registered, right? I know size. How about you, Maki? He asked. Yes, Naruto-senpai, I'm a registered Konoha ninja. Should I put on my headband now? She asked. Yes, that would be best for now, Naruto said, as she reached for it and placed it on her neck. Gara may trust me, but we're still foreign ninja, and you all need to be identified as Konoha ninja, lest we look way more suspicious than we already do. The only bad thing is, if this get back to Bachan, she's gonna wonder where I get you two from. No, she shouldn't look too much into it, Naruto-senpai, said Sai. Danzo has worked with a deal where I be placed as a teammate to protect you. I am sure he has, or will explain Maki the same way. We're golden then, Naruto said. Alright, get ready for some scrutinizing looks. Don't attract a ruckus, and remember to get some rest and get your materials together, in case of a Akatsuki attack, or if we have to leave suddenly. Don't cause a ruckus? Naruto-senpai, that doesn't sound like you, said Maki. I remember that mission we had to the mansion Nomina Kunari. Okay, Maki, Naruto said, cutting her off. I don't need you to remind me how we got over there. I remember I was there. And you didn't help me either, so you don't get to judge my robbery plan when you didn't have a part in it. As you wish, senpai, she said. As Naruto could see the look in her eyes, she really missed him. Well, it would be good to have someone like her that talk back. Well, not disobediently, but actually react and know how to deal with situations. As he was getting inside there, but Maki seemed already distant away from Sai when it comes to socializing. And also she was really cute. How could he not see that she was a girl back then? He simply shrugged as they continued their journey. Moments later, Konoha Hospital. Tsunade has been checking on Jiraiya ever since he has been admitted to the hospital. He was out of critical condition, but he suffered some bad wounds that he needed to stay in the hospital for. Breathing was also a hard thing since that his throat was completely crushed. So he was hooked up to a machine. And there's a machine that was also feeding him, seeing that he couldn't really swallow good. And his most bad injury is missing left arm that was severed at the shoulder. So, you have no idea where the brat is going either, she said, as she adjusted the blinds for him. As she turned and she shook his head in negative. Both of you weren't enough to take down this pain person. Jiraiya shook his head. It looked like you want to say more. I need to get you something to write with until you can speak more, she said. She looked outside the window. It's been 3 days since he was brought back. Do you even have any idea what he's out there doing? Jiraiya once again shook his head, wishing that he could speak to her, but in his current condition he couldn't. His apprentice has taken it upon himself and stay away from Konoha, while he's currently surrounded by all of the wolves of the Akatsuki. He needs to speak to Tsunade and tell her all that he has seen, all about pain. He needs to find Naruto and start getting him ready for a second encounter with pain. He needs to do all of these things, but he simply couldn't because he was stuck in the hospital bed for the time being. Tsunade sighed. Well, if anything comes up, we can still speak to him through Himako. If anything. We're going to have you up and running in no time, you old goat, she said with a smile. I still need you around here after all. So Naruto isn't coming back, a voice said that sighed from the entrance of the room. As they turned to see Kakashi at the door frame. If you want to send someone after him, I'll go, he said. No, the brat isn't deserting, he's just taking advantage of a loophole. She let out a small laugh. I guess he did deserve a vacation anyway. But no, I'm not going to send anyone after him. He will come back when he finds what he wants. And I'll be sending out the pervert to find him when he's all healed up anyway. Well, in that case, said Kakashi, giving her a smile. I volunteered to escort Jiraiya when he goes out looking for him. As Tsunade nodded, as Kakashi gave a thumbs up. Great. When it's time to go, give me a call and I'll be right there. Jiraiya let out a muffled laugh. As Tsunade rolled her eyes. You'll be right there? More like 3 hours late. As Kakashi rubbed the back of his head and chuckled nervously. Meanwhile, in hidden sand, they were being led through the streets. As Naruto led the both of them, as Sai tapped him on the shoulder. We're being watched, senpai. Well, we're 4 ninjas and we didn't sneak inside. Of course they're going to watch us. Does it matter? Are you supposed to be doing anything illegal while you're here? No, our only objectives are to keep you safe, Naruto-senpai. Other than that, we have no other mission parameters. Danzo-sama was very lenient with the orders on handing us this mission. Naruto nodded as he looked at Maki. Maki, remind me to fight you later so I can get a picture of what you can do. I know that you're a good medic. Which is good, we might need you later down. He then noticed the look on her face. What is it, he asked. She spoke quietly. We may be allies, but this village tried to destroy Konoha 3 years ago, senpai. And their current Kazekage tried to kill you. How can you trust them? Well, I beat him and simply showed him that simply existing isn't a way to be strong. I told him that I fought for Konoha. He must have taken that to heart. Come on, he said. Let's see if Gar can help me out with this. I need more knockout power if I'm going to fight Pain. This Pain, she said, what is he like? Do you know what he can do in battle? I don't know, Naruto said. There were 6 of them and they beat the crap out of me. And those eyes. The Kyuubi called them Rinnegan and he seemed really freaked out by them. I need to have a little chat with him when I get a chance. Well, there you are. As the 3 of them looked up to see Kankuro. Gar heard that you were in the village and sent me to escort you the rest of the way to his office. What? You don't know how to let someone know that you're coming? Well, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. As Kankuro jumped down and shook hands with Naruto, it's good to see you again. So, how's everyone there to ask? Well, he's Gaara, said Kankuro as he led him through the street. Tamar just got back from Konoha from another diplomatic mission, and she's pissed at you again. Well, I had a missioner says he sweat job, as he knew how much she hated looking for him and did not find him. How can she be mad at me for that? Kankuro laughter grew. No, she's not pissed at you for that. She's pissed because she heard that you gotten killed, and then heard that you just disappeared and you weren't going back to Konoha. As a matter of fact, she didn't get here much sooner than you did. So you have, let's say 4 hours before she wake up from her nap, to come up with some good defense. Naruto sighed. Believe me, I have a very good reason why those things happen. I need to talk to Gaara about it first though. You can listen up when you get there because you should know too. As Kankuro saw the serious look on Naruto's face, he nodded. So, who are these guys with you? He asked. As Naruto gestured for them to put their hood down. The guy name is Sai and the girl name is Maki. They're my team while I'm on this little mission of mine. As he settled down to his thoughts, I need more control of the Kyuubi's power, and not just the use of the trigger. That's just a shortcut that do more harm than good in the long run. You say the trigger does more harm than good, but you should know that you're the only Jinchuriki to ever use my chakra to this extent, said the Kyuubi. Feel proud to make it this far. The last 2 are unwilling to use my power the way you have. Bullshit, said Naruto. You told me that you have other containers before. You're saying that I'm the only one that use you. No, others have tried. My first Jinchuriki used the bare minimum. Only a tail worth. The second one was much the same. She couldn't go past 4 tails without losing control either. And no one else never tried to figure out a way to fully control me. Maybe I need more access to the chakra than I thought. It got more easier to control than ever starting to loosen the seal, and I got more control eventually. Maybe if I can do it again I can get access to more and learn to control it. As he decided to ask someone else about this as he ran into Himako through the ceiling tattoo. As his answer came back in an angry, bulge. So stupid. Even if you are advanced enough to deal with the workings of the seal, open it would be a bad idea. Unless you think you can fight and beat that demon right now. Naruto frowned at the response but figured she had to know what she was talking about. For over a year, her favorite thing was to ask him questions and study the seal on his belly. I can't even loosen it to access more, he asks. It is not supposed to be loosened, only tight in case it starts to influence you. When Jiraiya-sama did that to allow you more access, he just did that and make it easier for a demon to influence you. It doesn't matter, she said, you can't do it on your own either. You need a certain key to the seal that I can't duplicate. Your father was brilliant, Naruto-sama, she said. Naruto decided to break conversation as they entered Gaara's office. Thank you, Himako-chan, he said. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, I'll see if Jiraiya-sama knew anything about the seal when I get a chance, she said. Be safe. And with that, their connection was broken. Naruto, good to see you, said Gaara, in his usual tone. You had many people in Konoha and even me here fearing for your safety. As he crossed his arms over one another and set them on his desk in a business-like matter. How have things been, he asked. Well, I wish I could say that things are good, but I would be lying to you, and I don't want to do that. I just got a serious wake-up call, and I need your help, Gaara. Gaara didn't let the surprise show on his face, but hearing Naruto ask for his help caught him off guard. Even though they're friends, Hidden Village barely asks help from one another. But Gaara didn't believe that it was an official order, something more for a personal request. What is it that you need? He asked. Well, no need to beat around the bush, I'll just say 3 years ago you were kind of insane. No offense, none taken, Gaara said. I'm not very proud of that chapter of my life, but it did happen, and I cannot pretend that it didn't exist. I didn't bring that up to talk about it, it's just to make a point, said Naruto. You used to be the worst scenario for a Jinchuriki and now you're the Kazekage. To do that, you need the trust of a vast majority of your village. And to do that, you need to prove that you were no longer under the will of the Ichibai. I want to know how you got full control of the Ichibai. As Kankuro looked at his brother before Naruto spoke. I can't do that, Naruto. Naruto sighed. Village secret, he said. Fine, it's alright. It was worth a shot though. Thanks for hearing me out. No, Naruto, he can't, said Kankuro. He's not saying that because it's some huge advantage for the sand, he just really can't. I do not have full control of Shikaku, said Gaara. Though I can suppress it once I begin. Though if I use either of the forms that I use against you, but then, Shikaku will become more dominant. Now I can use part of Shikaku's limbs to attack, but I cannot use a full demon. Well, I call that control, Naruto said, and you can go all out with it if you want. I can't. How did you do that? Well, I often have to battle the Ichibai to keep control of my psyche, and keep it from constantly trying to control my thoughts. You're talking about hypothetically fighting it, are you, said Naruto? Like willing it, out of your mind. Gaara nodded, as Naruto sighed, damn. So then I guess I have to completely fight it by opening the seal and fully getting control. Well, that sucks, said Kankuro. I am sorry I can't be of more help to you, Naruto, said Gaara. Why did you decide to seek me out anyway? Well, for 3 reasons. 1, I can't go home the way I am. 2, all of the other major villages have their own Jinchuriki. I figured that Sand will be one that could train theirs and have a good handle on it. But I was wrong because you did it all on your own. The 3rd reason was to warn you. Warn me, said Gaara. Of what? Warn you about the man that beat me and Jiraiya at the very same time. Not just beat us, he destroyed us, Gaara. Like he was barely trying. The leader of Akatsuki, Pain. As the look of shock was on Gaara and Kankuro's face to hear that legendary Sannin Jiraiya and he was defeated brutally. He has 6 bodies, all of them strong. I don't know too much more, but I swear. When I do, you're going to be the first to know, Gaara. You're still just as much a target as me. Be ready for anything. Gaara nodded. I am not the Kazekage for nothing. I will, and I'll begin training in preparation for the Akatsuki. You are free to stay here before leaving. Where are you going next? East, said Naruto. Far east, back through Hainin no Kune. We'll stay for the night and leave tomorrow morning. Thank you, Gaara. After that, Kankuro led them towards their family compound so they can stay for the night. As Sai went closer to Naruto, we're gonna be heading through Hainin no Kune. Is it a good idea, he asked. We have to, Naruto said, if we're going to get to Mizo. We will keep to the south to stay far away from Konoha and out of their view. You guys can get to our country unnoticed, can't you? Kankuro then started to call out, hey sis, Temari, I'm back. You got to be awake, huh? Where are you? As he turned and smirked at Naruto. You bastard, Naruto said. I'm up, Kankuro. What's the matter, she said. Oh, Naruto is out here, said Kankuro. Naruto turned to run away, but he tricked Naruto with a chakra string. Kankuro, don't do this, Naruto said. I gave you sorcery extra bodies. As Kankuro started to think, but the door then cracked open. As Naruto's sweat dropped, hey there, Temari-chan, he said. How have you been for the last few months? But she just looked at him. Go with Kankuro to the room, Naruto said. I'll catch up in a minute. As Temari stepped forward and grabbed him by his collar and pulled him straight into the room. As she released him on the floor, you better have a damn good reason why you didn't go back to Konoha after what happened. As Sai looked at Kankuro, Naruto-senpai and Temari-san are in a relationship, he asked. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. But I would say besides the climate, he's the reason why she loves going to Konoha though. One time she came back with the biggest smile on her face. That traveling all that way shouldn't give her. And when asked about the kid, her smile got bigger. So Naruto-senpai and Temari are going to... As Kankuro cut him off, probably. Can we not talk about that, he said. Even though I'm okay with it, she's still my sister. That's gross. As he looked at Sai and Maki, like how would you like it if I start talking about how hot your little sister here is? Come on, it's just inappropriate. As Sai looked at Maki and then back at Kankuro, I don't see what relation has to do with the attractiveness of one sibling. Besides, Maki is not my sister, she's my teammate on this mission, just as Naruto-senpai. As Kankuro looked at Maki, nah, no she's not. She's not anything similar to Naruto. Whatever you say, makeup boy, said Sai. Meanwhile, Frono was on Maki's face that Naruto had a relationship with a foreign kunoichi. What if she's been able to seduce secrets out of senpai? She apparently does this every often, so why would she? I need to have a talk with him later about this, she thought to herself. The next day, the gates of the hidden sand. Temari gave Naruto a hug. As she frowned a bit, I wish you could stay a little bit longer this time, but from what you told me last night, you need to get moving. Yes, I'm sure you wish you would stay, said Kankuro. Temari took her fan off her back and pointed at him as he backed away quickly. You see, every time she's around you, she's calmed down. You should move to the hidden sand, said Kankuro. She knocked him right on his head with her fan. I wish I could stay longer as well, said Naruto. But there's a lot of things I must do, and stay training in Konoha would not help. Even that new jutsu that you helped me finish wouldn't have done the job. Did you use it? She asked in a threatening tone. No, said Naruto. Good, she said. Because you know it tears up your arm. Just be careful out there, she said. As she gave him a small smile. I don't think I could convince you to let me come with you if I asked Gaara to send you off with a small escort. Do you? Sigh and mock her enough, said Naruto as he placed a hand on her cheek. Just worry about keeping your brothers in check, okay? As he gave her a kiss and then turned. Motioned for the others to follow him, as his distant figure became smaller and smaller. Temari sighed. And here we go again, said Conqueror as he picked up himself. For the love of God, why don't you just tell him that you're in love with him already? You had sex with him like 3— Shut up, Conqueror, she said. She slapped him with her fan. 3 days later, at one of Orochimaru's secret bases, Sasuke walked into the room as he slashed open a container full of water. The water poured out before it started to take form, as it was Shigetsu. I'm happy to be out of there, but why did you rescue me? Asked Shigetsu. I'm taking out Orochimaru, and you're coming with me, Sasuke said plainly. Of course you could always turn me down. I'll simply put you back in that tank for you to be experimented upon. Your choice, Shigetsu. Go with you. And screw over that asshole who put me here in the first place. Or stay here and keep getting experimented on. Well then, I guess I have no choice. Hurry up and get dressed, Sasuke said. We're doing this now. And if you see Kabuto wandering around while we're dealing with Orochimaru, feel free to show him how much you enjoy the hospitality of him experimenting on you. As Shigetsu smirked, I have a feeling that this is going to work out just fine, he said. Moments later, Sasuke and Shigetsu made their way through the base, with not even a peep from any one of Orochimaru's men, because it was Sasuke and no one was supposed to touch Sasuke. So, you sure you can win? Asked Shigetsu. I mean, I don't care either way, because if you fail, you're going to be a Sasuke trench coat for Orochimaru. And I'll be either dead or back in that goo. But you seem confident. Sasuke scoffed. He can't beat me. He's hiding it, but if you look close you can see that his body is breaking down. As he is, the dope can take him out. That's probably why he didn't attack him on the Kazekage back when we were in the hidden sand. As they reach a set of large doors, stay out here. No one comes in until one of us comes out. Are you sure? Shigetsu asked. I mean, if we were both in there, we could have a better shot at putting him down. No one comes in until one of us comes out, said Sasuke. If I can't beat him, then all of this is meaningless and I'll never beat Itachi. As he formed a beam of lightning and pointed at the door, it pierced right through the door as a cry could be heard from inside. As he cut through the rest of the door, Orochimaru was on his bed, blocking the attack from hitting any of his vital points. Orochimaru glared at Sasuke. I knew that it would come to this, said Orochimaru. You have lived out your usefulness, said Sasuke. I don't have anything else to learn from you, and you won't be seeing any mercy from me, even if you beg for it. As a curse seal started to spread all across Sasuke's body. Time skip, everything went silent. Shigetsu has not heard anything for about 2 minutes now, as he peeked his head inside, as he saw Sasuke standing over Orochimaru's corpse, as he was a giant white snake form. Is it over? Shigetsu asked. As Sasuke didn't answer, Shigetsu got fed up as he stepped in the room. Yeah, it's over, he says. He looked over at Orochimaru's dead body. As Kabuto appeared in the doorway fast. As he looked in the room with a shocked look on his face, making Shigetsu grin. As Sasuke simply walked by him, Shigetsu walked by with a grin on his face as well. Which one are you? Asked Kabuto. Sasuke activated Sharingan and placed Kabuto in a genjutsu and made him saw the conflict. Kabuto stepped back in shock. Orochimaru-sama is dead? No, it's more like I've taken over, said Sasuke as he walked away alongside Shigetsu. Shigetsu had thought about killing Kabuto for keeping him trapped in a tank for so long, but he feared he would be nothing more than a simple mark on his own. Without Orochimaru, he will be swallowed up by the multiple enemies that he has made since becoming Orochimaru's right-hand man. So what's next? Where are we going now? He asked Sasuke. We need to get 2 more people, Jugo in the north and Karen in the south. Man, do we have to? I can't really stand those 2. I don't think we'll ever get along. I just need the 3 of you to cooperate. I don't need you to like each other. Well, you did save me, so I think I'll go along with you for now. So what do you think of those 2? They just need to learn to shut up, Sasuke said, just like someone else who I'm talking to right now. Shigetsu vanished and reappeared behind Sasuke and placed a finger at his head. Alright, listen here, leader boy. Let's get a few things straight. You're not in charge because you took Orochimaru down. Everyone was after him and the way he was moving when the squad of Konoha ninja found him, the Onfus. I saw that he didn't have much time left anyway. You taking him down is just a result of you being here at the right time and the right moment. What's your point? Sasuke said. Shigetsu sighed. I'm just kidding. Man, your heart rate didn't even change once. That's enough for me. That win was no fluke. I always heard rumors about how strong you were. Your squad beat my old senpai, Zabuza, huh? But let's make a quick detour. There's somewhere I want to go before meeting the others. 2 days later, at Konoha, Jiraiya sat comfortably in Naruto's living room, the home that Naruto has not seen yet. He had to say Himako did a wonderful job in picking it out and furnishing it as well. It was a very comfortable atmosphere to say at least. A semicircle of couches sat in the living room that was very well lit. She was probably also waiting on him to fill the rest of the place out as well. Oh, he would have loved the place he was built on the side of the Hokage's monument with a groove cut out by Earth ninjutsu specialist. The entrance to the place was on top of the mountain and descended into the actual building, as this place was worth all the money to Jiraiya. Maybe when the kid come back he could convince him to get a room. Yes, that would work. The kid would have to make his poor handicapped sensei stay with him, wouldn't he? I hope that the tea is not too strong or hot for your throat, Jiraiya-sama, Himako said, as she put on a tray of tea. How are your injuries, she said. Jiraiya smiled as the girl poured him the tea, as he spoke in a raspy voice. It should be fine, he said. And I'm not dead, so I can't really complain about my wounds, they'll heal. I'll miss the arm though, he sniffled. I'll miss that sweet arm of mine. Himako giggled and handed him the tea. Well, it's nice to hear that Naruto-sama, Sensei is alright. I have asked you here for another reason though. He is worried about fighting the person that defeated the both of you. He said that the 4 tails that the Kyuubi chakra can draw upon won't be enough to defeat this pain. I'm supposed to ask you about any way he can access more of the power, since he cannot control any more than he has been using. Also note, loosening seal was not a good idea. That was a terrible idea, Jiraiya-sama, she said. Well, I knew that a day after I did it, but I couldn't tighten it back up with the key, said Jiraiya. The key, said Himako as she took a sip. What exactly is the key, Jiraiya-sama? I know there's one, but I don't know anything more than that. It's puzzling that I do not know about this key, when Naruto-sama's sealing is so basically heavily focused on the Uso sealing styles. I cannot even duplicate it even if I thought it would be a good idea to do so. As Jiraiya chuckled a bit before taking a sip of his tea. Well, I didn't design it. I am sure that you know of Naruto lineage. Himako nodded. Of course you do. There was no way he would have failed to mention that to you. Well, Minato was actually better than me at Fuinjutsu. He was actually closer to your level. Or beyond you, I must say. Himako simply smiled. Are you finally admitting that I'm better than you? She asked, as she let out a short laugh. I'm not surprised that the 4th Hokage was better than me. Master Seal is incredible. It used to be my favorite thing just to examine it, until I learned all that I can from it. As she then noticed Jiraiya was writing down on a notepad. Really? You're recording this? She asked. Well, the kid has been a treasure trove ever since I met him. That examining seal thing will be a good work in my next book. Himako eyebrow twitched, but she has to be a good host or a master. Well, what do you think we should do? Master quoting. And from what do you tell me about the small confliction with pain? It has me concerned. Jiraiya became serious. After I recover, I'm going to find Naruto and have him proceed with the final thing I'm going to truly teach him. After this, he will truly not need me anymore for anything. We have the information necessary to defeat pain. I learned his secret during the fight, and I gave it to Snavi. The body I brought has also been analyzed. All there is to do now is tell Naruto himself and get him ready. Himako pulled on the sleeve of her kimono. As she ran her hand over the seal, I can give Naruto-sama this information now if you relate it to me. But he wasn't listening, he was looking at her cleavage. Jiraiya-sama, she said. Huh? Oh, you know dear, he said. You're technically closer to my age than you are the kids. Why not spend some time with me and we can finish, reminiscing over the good old days? She looked at him for a straight minute. There are so many reasons why I'm so upset with what you just said. But there isn't much I can do even with you missing an arm. So I'm going to tell Naruto-sama what you just said so he can deal with you when he gets home. Jiraiya faced pale as she started to channel chakra to the seal. Meanwhile, well, let's go, said Suigetsu as he placed his sword on his shoulder, as they were currently at Haku and Zabuza's grave, where the soldiers left. I'm gonna need this if we're gonna get Jugo on the team. We're still going south, right? Yes, said Sasuke. Meanwhile, Naruto didn't bother to stop at Iniere, or Tazuna, or Tsunami, as they just went on the countryside. They still have a lot to do, and they didn't want people to know where they were right now, and they had to pass through quickly, seeing that they were rather near to Konoha. But Maki had questions for him. So you beat Zabuza as a genin, she asked. Even when you were stupid? Hey, Naruto said, as he and his team walked through the port. And Kakashi Sensei was the one that beat Zabuza. I beat Haku. For having all my skills locked up, I was still better than most genins. Not me, said Maki. I would have been in that tuning exam with you that year too, but my team wasn't that good. If I had been in that tuning exam, I would have gone right after you and I would have beaten you up. I really dislike that sealed version of you. It made me so angry to see you like that. As she shook her head, I said it before. You have no idea how much I miss you, senpai. As Naruto grinned at her, Surfer almost died, Maki-chan. But I got sealed. Wouldn't you have been more upset if I had died? She crossed her arms. I should have been there. I should have helped you, she said. You would have been killed, Naruto said. We were the same age, but we weren't built the same. You would have died if we had been caught. That run to the border was the most difficult thing I've ever done in my entire life. You wouldn't have made it. You didn't have the stamina. I was your support, senpai. I was the one that's supposed to be your assistant. And I was sitting at home while you were running for your life and losing your personality, she said sadly. As Sai just walked with them and didn't really say anything. As Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder, I told you not to worry about that, he said. If me leaving you alone like that was so worrying, I'm sorry, Maki-chan. But you can get to know me now. The way we would have been if you had said more than 5 words to me. She turned away. I didn't know what to say to you, she said. I was just a little girl. What did we have to talk about? All we did was train and fight and do missions. As Naruto laughed at the expression on her face. Aw, someone missed a few. Emotional, conditioning class. As he ruffled her hair, but she swung at him. As he simply smiled. I'm helping Sai get a life. I think it's going to be much easier for you to get one as well. You're sweet and actually have a sense of humor. And I don't feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. Sai, he said. As he turned towards Sai, who didn't really care about the conversation. I'm sorry, senpai, Sai said. Did you say something? Naruto eyebrow and twitch. Do not take personality pointers from Kakashi sensei. It's a shame that you don't respect me, Sai, he said. I do respect you, Sai said. Do you want me to go to the mission protocol? How the way to address you? No, hell no, said Naruto. Speak how you want to. I was just messing with you, senpai, said Sai. Naruto blinked a few times, making Maki laugh. A little. Did he just make a joke, Naruto said. No, sarcastic. A joke. I'm so proud of you, Sai. Your actions start to come along a little bit. Now the next step, he said as he placed an arm over Sai's shoulder, is to hook you up with a woman. As Sai blinked confusedly. Time skip. Why are we coming to this country? Naruto senpai, Maki asked as she was clinging to him, as they were on one of Sai's ink bird as he was over on the other one. Do you think they can help you how to learn how to control your Biju, she asked. As Naruto frowned a bit. It might and it might not, Naruto said. It served 2 purposes. I need to keep moving and make it difficult for them to track me down. And I need to find out what I can about controlling Kyuubi. As he looked back at Maki, clinging to him tightly. You know, the 4th Mizukage was Yagura. He was a Jinjuriki of the 3-tailed giant turtle. Well, he's dead now, so I'm going to try to speak to the 5th Mizukage under the guise of mission diplomacy. So this is basically espionage, Sai asked. Hell no, said Naruto. We're not risking that here. We're miles away from our home on a damn island, surrounded by water. What's wrong with you? As Sai simply shrugged, we're just gonna try to convince him to help us out. Maybe even join the alliance against the Akatsuki. No spying or any underhanded activities. Sometimes being straightforward is the best way to get things. Apparently, Kira had been very receptive when Konoha reached out to them years ago. As Naruto has never been there before because he went to fight Deidara and Sasori that day. And that was when he met Himako. But the groundwork has already been laid down, so Naruto can finish building a relationship with the 2 villages. He was very young but as a recent reveal, Jinjuriki of the Kyuubi, a student of Jiraiya, and already a Jonin level shinobi. He should have enough talk at his name to get a meeting with the Mizukage, and if he didn't, he could always reveal a nice little secret about himself that he had yet to expose. Maybe being the 4th Kage's son who greased the wheels a bit to get his foot in the door. No one was known about this yet. Maybe it was time for him to use it. Time skip, a rogue figure sit at the decks. As someone knocked, enter, she said. Mizukage-sama, there are people waiting at the main gate, yes. A group of Konoha ninjas are here for a diplomatic meeting of great importance. What are your orders? A diplomatic group from Konoha, she said. And we never even received a message from them this time. How rude, she said. Well, it doesn't matter, I will allow them in to see me. Just send Ayo and Kojo in case. The Kira ninja bowed and left, shutting the door. I wonder what could this be all about, she thought. Moments later, Naruto, Maki, and Sai sat in the waiting room of the office of the Mizukage. They were all being watched like a hawk by a squad of Kira ninjas, but he wasn't really offended by that. They were strange foreigners who were all shinobis, and one of them was a Jinjuriki. As it would be suspicious if they weren't watched at all. Sai was simply joined as Maki had her cheeks in her hand. So, senpai, what was it like, she asked. Having all of your skills sail away. I couldn't imagine it. You were nothing like the senpai that worked with me after it happened. Well, in the academy, I was never able to focus. Because my brain already knew that I knew all of that stuff. It just wasn't able to access that knowledge properly and it tuned it out. That is why it was so hard for me to learn the basic ninjutsu in the academy. Well, there was also the fact that I had too much chakra for the clone. But it isn't really a big deal, Naruto said, noticing that she was listening to every one of his words. Did you really miss me that much? Well, you were the only person I had in my life constantly. While I was a little girl, she said. Even though you don't think so, I felt really close to you. I knew you better than everyone else, even though you don't think you knew me. And then you were gone, and then you come back, only I can't see you anymore. I can't even let you know who I am. It felt terrible, you were the only person I knew. Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder. You didn't need me anyway, he said. Even without me, you became awesome, and a great ninja, just look at you, he said. It was still all you, she said. I kept on training and becoming stronger. So by the time we became Genins, I could probably fight you in the Chunin exams and try if I can get the old senpai back. After the exams that led to the invasion after you unsealed yourself, I kept training so one day I could work with you after finding out how strong you are. But you never came back to Root and then I learned that you could not return ever. Sai then cut in. Naruto senpai mission and responsibilities kept him from coming back, Maki-san. If he had returned, chances are he would have returned to be your partner. But you didn't get promoted to Chunin until senpai started to sack Orochimaru bases. I had to meet with him in secrecy until recently. The door to the office opened up to reveal a man with blue hair and eye patch over his right eye. The Mizukage is ready to see you now. Please follow me, he said. They all followed him inside the door shut behind them. As the man that allowed them inside went over and stood beside the Mizukage, as she was in her fully Mizukage's robe. There was also another boy that over to the other side that had shark-like teeth and glasses and blue hair. As Naruto and the others bowed to the Mizukage, please rise, Konoha ninja. I am honestly surprised why you came all the way unannounced like this. And to be a well-known Jinjulki, I must say it's honestly surprised to see Naruto Uzumaki here, as she removed her hat. As Naruto and Sai blink. I am Mei Terume, the fifth Mizukage, she said. She's hot, thought Naruto, as he kept his eyes from wandering. She's really hot, he said, and she isn't even pulling a hench either, like Bachan. He stepped forward and bowed again. It's an honor to meet you, Mizukage-sama, he said. I must say, it's strange for people to know me before I even ever met them. I'm not used to it yet. Well, you will have to get used to it, she said. The stronger you get, the more famous you get. It seems like Konoha is always producing high-quality shinobis, no matter what age it is. As the man that led them in scoffed, and they sent 3 baby brats for a diplomatic mission. I have to wonder if you 3 even have what it takes to follow up with any arrangement you get into with the Mizukage. God knows how you kids are with things like this. So don't waste your time with some spontaneous engagements. Ayo, said Mei, as she turned towards him and smiled. Shut up, or I'll kill you, she said. Okay, Naruto thought. I'll believe this is the Mizukage. She then turned back around. I'm certain these 3 wouldn't be here if they weren't able to carry out what purpose they came for. Now tell me, what can I do for you, she asked. Well, I'll get right down to the point, Naruto said. You know that I'm a Kyuubi Jinjulki. Every hidden village should know by now. As she nodded. What do you know about the group called Akatsuki, he asked. The boy at the side spoke up that Kisame senpai is one of the members. That fact alone should make them dangerous. Kojuro is right, Mei said. And then there's a rumor that Akatsuki was created in Kiri as well. And I'm well aware of their goal of obtaining Bichu for some reason. They have taken the Sanbai and the Rokibai from our nation already. Damn it, Naruto said. So they definitely have the Sanbai, the Rokibai, the Nanabi, the Gobe, the Yonbai. Only 4 of us left now. Alright, recently I fought the leader of the Akatsuki. He's a man who go by the name as Pain. You fought the leader of this group, she said, surprised. What happened, she asked. What can you tell me? Well, Naruto ran a hand through his hair. He destroyed me. He actually took me apart and wounded Jiraiya the Sani in the process. He beat us both, and I know what they want all of the Bichu for. The Bichus are to use as a massive Kinjutsu weapon. That will be Seoul or whatever village that want to use it against another. This will go back and front. People will suffer. People who get attacked, they will fear this power until this power become useful to them, and then they will use it and attack another village again over and over again, and it will just repeat the process start all over again. And this is how the world will be forever. I don't think I'll have to tell you what kind of a stupid idea that is. Mei frowned. That was a terrible idea. Do you know where this person Pain is, she asked. Naruto nodded. The hidden rain, he said. But I'm not strong enough to fight him myself. Jiraiya wasn't strong enough to fight him himself. He has a strange technique and nothing but raw power and skill. I've never came face to face with anyone like him ever. But I don't know of anyone right now that can stand against him. And the shinobi under his command are 100% agreeing with him. Fighting him in the hidden rain is like fighting the entire village, and the village a death trap. So she said, I'm assuming that you're looking for an alliance to end the threat of the Akatsuki, she said, and the hidden rain. No, Naruto said, we don't have any plans to go directly war with the hidden rain. It's just the issue with the Akatsuki. If we can cut off the head, so to speak, then the organization will fall. If you actually want to help, I'm not going to suggest that. But we already have an alliance between the Sand and Kumo. And the Stone, do you have any arrangement with them yet? She asked. No, said Naruto. The old man shot it down as soon as we brought it up. After the attack, after the latest Chunin exams held in his Sand, he wasn't open to any communication past what we already had. But we don't really have any reason why you will join us either. You already lost yours, so unless you want revenge or anything, I don't think that you want to get into this as well. May smiled apologetically. I want to thank you for the information you gave us on the Akatsuki and their leader, but you're right. A war, right now, with no real gain or purpose, wouldn't be in your best interest. I'm sorry, she said. That's okay, Nerd said, one of his own smile. I didn't expect you guys to just step in like that. But maybe there's another way you can help me. If I'm gonna be fighting pain when you finally decide to come for me again, I'm gonna need to be better than I am. Is there any way that you can point me toward the method that your Jinchuriki used to gain better control? Ayo sighed, that would be impossible, kid. Utsugata, the last Jinchuriki of the Rokibai, fled and took the secrets of how to control this Biju with him, and we never found him, and the trail went completely cold. He has been captured. A total loss on all fronts then, Naruto said. So you guys don't have anything that can help. The only person that can possibly train a Jinchuriki into harnessing their power is another Jinchuriki, Mei said. Each Biju is also different. I don't think any kind of process that we have would have been useful to you, Uzumaki-kun, she said. Your Biju is by far the most dangerous and powerful. Compared to the Sanbai, the Rokibai, they're more smaller in nature. I can only imagine what you feel when you begin to use his power. Apparently what she was saying is that each village had their own way to train their own Jinchuriki. Understandable, but he had no way to train his own. 30 years of control and meditating, he was able to manage up to 4 till now. But he cannot wait years. Pain, the Akatsuki, they will be on the move soon. And nothing was giving him the answer to just push over the edge. Well, except for the way that Yuri told him, the battle, for him to get complete control. So I'm really gonna have to fight the thing to gain full control, he thought. Naruto bowed to Mizukage. Well, thank you for allowing us to speak to you, Mizukage-sama. Sorry, in the end we weren't able to get anything done, she said. We'll be on our way now. Wait a moment, she said. There could be something that you can do to allow us to broker alliance with Konoha, to prove that all of you are trustworthy, if nothing else. I'll be sending to your village and inform them of this if you choose to accept. As Naruto looked towards his team, the both of them nodded. If you get them another ally against the Akatsuki, then Naruto had to listen. If it's something we can do, then we will hear you out before we decide, he said. Wonderful, she said. As you are aware, our village is famous for housing the 7 most powerful swordsmen in the world. While the one we have holding today is the only one held by Kojiro here. I'm well aware of your Team 7 taking on Zabuza and defeating him years ago. Surely you know what happened to his sword. It should still be where we left it. We placed it at Market's grave site. No one else but one of our teammates should know where it is. Do you want me to get it for you? That would be wonderful, she said. And if you could take Kojiro with you to verify the weapon. As she looked up at Kojiro, can you do that for me please, she asked. Of course, Mizukage-sama, you can count on me, he said, blushing a bit. Alright, then we have a deal, said Naruto. Meanwhile, at Orochimaru base, just forget it. Kimimaro was the only person that could control me. I'm not going anywhere with you, said Jugo, as he ran back inside after regaining his mind. Jugo. Kimimaro is dead, said Sasuke. He died fighting for my sake 3 years ago, so that I could escape from a powerful shinobi and continue on my own path. Then that means, as Jugo came outside as he towered over all of them, you're Sasuke Uchiha. Tell me, who was this person that he fought against, said Jugo. Moments later, Sasuke had all 3 of them outside the base. Getting you 3 here together is the first part of my plan, he said. It's time I actually explain what I gathered you all for. I'm going to kill Itachi Uchiha of the Akatsuki, and I want all 3 of you to help. I totally knew it, said Suigetsu. Karen, you said you had other business to attend to. Then what are you gonna do, asked Sasuke. Well, now that you mention it's nothing urgent, I can deal with it at any time, she said. Cut the bullshit and be honest for once, said Suigetsu, smirking. You really want to say I want to be at Sasuke's side forever and ever? Just say it already. That's not it at all, she snapped at him. Why would you even suggest something like that? Because I'm right, just look at you, so flustered. You just want to rip my mouth off to keep me from talking, don't you? I know the truth. Besides, a long time ago you did something to... Karen punched him and destroyed his head that burst in the water. Sugetsu, stop mixing with Karen. I told you, cooperate with everyone. My bad. Sorry, Karen. For the record, I plan to stay close to you as well. You see, this Akatsuki, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, his name is Kisame. He's on the Akatsuki as well, with Itachi. So, I want his sword. So yeah, I'm sticking close to you as well. So Jogo, big guy, now that you're free, what are you gonna do now? Asked Getsu. As he reflected for a moment, Kimimaro said that Sasuke's existence was like his own being reborn. Kimimaro sacrificed his life in battle to protect him. I need to see for myself how strong as a shinobi he is, and I need to find the person who took Kimimaro down. Well, it's settled. From now on we move as one. Our team will be known as Hebai, for the sole purpose of hunting and killing Itachi Uchiha. Damn it, said Naruto, as he looked at the grave. As Kojiro thought they would just come here and get the sword and he would be going back to the Mizukage, but no. I got some sweet news from Himako recently. Orochimaru is dead. That got a gasp from Maki and a look of surprise from Sai. Apparently, Sasuke killed him and freed some prisoners on the island not too far from here. That is what Erasenin's spies told him. And he told Himako he was here and he took the sword. So what do we do now, Naruto-senpai? Sai asked. Well, I made a promise and I can't just leave the Mizukage weakening like this. That's bad politics to set a treaty and alliance. Okay, we're making a detour. I know exactly what he's going to do. I'm gonna beat his ass and get the sword back. Sasuke Uchiha beat Orochimaru by himself, Maki said. Senpai, you're going to go after him, even after you know that he can defeat a powerful shinobi like Orochimaru on his own. Naruto looked at Maki and smiled at her. It wasn't that she didn't believe in him. It was common knowledge that Orochimaru was a bad man. Jiraiya even believed, before his injury, that if the both of them fought, they would kill each other. But due to the hellish mission that left him sealed 7 years ago, Naruto knew about Orochimaru's weakness. Weakness that he shared with Anko, Tenzo, Jiraiya, and Teiwaya, so that she could get a laugh out of it. He didn't beat the Sannin that got famous out of years of war. Orochimaru was sickly and dying. There was no way Sasuke could defeat the fully energized Orochimaru. That was the only way that he won. So the Uchiha isn't overwhelmingly strong. It's just that he picked the right spot and the points, said Maki. He then looked towards Kojiro. I know it's a pain, but if you can return to the Mizukage and tell her that we don't have a sword, but we will get it soon enough. I promise that I'll bring her back one of the swords, and I will do that. I will. I am sure she will understand. The Mizukage is a very kind person. The swords are national treasures of Kiri. If you can return even one, I'm sure she will be happy to set a treaty with Konoha. Tell her to send a message to my Hokage, tell her what is going on. And I'll send a message to Himako to tell her as well. I don't need to keep moving under the radar anymore. As a matter of fact, if Akatsuki can find me right now, it will be much better. Huh? Said Sai. Well, Sasuke is looking for Itachi. And plus, Kisame is with him. You're going to look for Kisame senpai? You know how strong he is, don't you? Yeah, said Naruto. But we're not gonna pick a fight with them, we're gonna wait until Sasuke finds them. Then I'm gonna take the sword from Sasuke. And also, maybe take that sword from Kisame as well. Besides, you know how important the Sharingan is. We can't just leave Sasuke to roam, Itachi either. If it comes down to it, we have to take the both of them out. Sai and Maki nodded as well. They need to send a message to Danzo-sama about this. So, are you two ready for this, Naruto asked. Sorry, I didn't want to drag you into any Akatsuki business like this. Naruto-senpai, anything involving you until you feel like you can return to Konoha is our business, I said. As Naruto's eyes locked with Maki, she blushed a bit of being looking at so intensely by her superior. What Sai-senpai said, she said, anything that you think. We will be with you all the way. I won't back down on supporting you so soon after finding you again. I've been working all this time, so you won't have to carry me like when we were kids, she said. Good, Naruto said, I know you won't. So let's go and work this out, he said. But guys, to be any steps right here, remember to stay tuned for the rest of what is coming away, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But for now, I'm Fear. See you guys soon. Peace.